Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Owuthi, and we're spilling the heart and stories behind the art. In our last episode, we looked at Ashila Goaki's view of art as identity, but today we'll be looking at his best friend, the man who called Gurki his master. We're talking about Willem de Kooning, and as far as he was concerned, art was a battlefield. De Kooning's journey was the ultimate high risk move. In 1926, he didn't have a visa or plan, but he stowed away in the engine of a British freighter. He then arrived in America as an illegal immigrant, and he came to America with nothing but his brushes. To survive, he worked as a laborer, painting houses mostly. But this was a man who was trained at the Rotterdam Academy of Fine Arts, and painting was his true profession. The battle quality of his canvases came from that mix of struggle, struggling as an immigrant, fighting to survive, the raw physical energy of a manual laborer. And his art wasn't just born of that one a singular trauma, but a life just shaped from hardship and displacement and moving around and fighting to belong to a place. This was really a war that was taking place in his mind. So now let's go to his studio. When de Kooning stepped into the studio, he carried that laborer's energy with him. He didn't use delicate brushes, he used really heavy industrial ones. He layered paint thickly, almost like plaster, on a wall. You can feel this weight in one of his paintings called Excavation, where the surface is a dense, scarred battlefield of cream and charcoal. The canvas wasn't a place for decoration as far as he was concerned. It was a surface to be fought with. Each stroke was a blow, a punch, each layer a clash. In his famous painting, Woman One, the jagged lines and aggressive textures show he wasn't painting to please anybody. He was painting in a way, I guess, to survive and to wrestle with the chaos that was on inside of him. That's why his works often feel violent, restless almost. They're the record of a man battling his past, battling within himself, battling for a home in a country where he arrived with nothing. But in the 1980s, things took a turn for him. Alzheimer's changed everything for him. I've always felt that, in a way, in a tragic kind of way, this illness was his final escape from the battlefield. As the sharper memories of the awful things that happened in his past began to fade, the lines on his canvas also softened. I found a Turkish composer, Idil Özkan, who composed a piece of music in memory of her father called Fragments of Memories. I think de Kooning's Alzheimer's helped him to hide in a fragment. A fragment was his escape away from the battlefield. From his later paintings, while he had this illness, like the untitled series of the 1980s, you can see that his hand moved more freely on the canvas with a new kind of freedom. The shackles of the past were loosening, and he just stopped fighting the paint. He started to dance with it instead, move with it instead. Um, and somehow, in losing the struggle of his mind, he finally found that tranquility of a home inside of himself. Painting no longer meant that he had to be a laborer. He could now become an artist. Here's the piece by Idol Özkan, Fragments of Memories. To conclude this section, the 13th century Persian poet Rumi, who is central to Turkish spiritual thought, famously said, I broke into a million pieces, but now I'm seeing all the beauty in the broken glass. De Kooning's journey shows us that sometimes the ultimate home is found when we finally let go of the map. He traveled from the engine room of a ship to the top of the art world, only to find peace in a single fragment of memory. Next time, we move into the modern era. We'll look at Doho Soo, the Korean artist who builds ghost houses out of fabric. If the Kooning's home was a battlefield, Doho Soo's